Have you dreamed of bigger things for your life? Then you are in the right place. Each week, you will be given tips on how to change your inner dialogue, conquer your goals, and ways to step into a higher version of yourself. I'm your host, Lauren Kubat. I'm a motivational speaker who hosts personal development events. I'm a sought-after fitness instructor, a wife, and a mom of 2 young boys. I'm obsessed with all things personal development, and I believe anyone can achieve the life they want. Let the Become Your Vision podcast be the inspiration you need to step into greater things. Now let's go. You guys, welcome. It's the 50th episode. 50. Oh my gosh. What does that mean? What does the 50th episode mean to me? It means showing up when I didn't think I was ready. It means showing up unpolished, showing up scared, all because I'm just like you. I'm imperfect, and my stories and interviews are always here to inspire you and show you that if I can do it, so can you. And it's crazy to think about this being the 50th episode. I remember starting in the very beginning and just being scared, and I'll get more into that in a little while. And this episode is all about starting before you think you are ready, and I'm here to help you. But before we dive in, I want to get to the review. I've been forgetting the last several weeks, so I apologize for that. Remember, I send you little gifts. I send Starbucks gift cards or Dunkin' Donut gift card, or what's the other one? Affirmation cards, anything on my Etsy store that you want. I send that, so you can have the choice. But the winner of this week's review comes from Abby Eliza. Deaf, worth listening to. She says, this podcast series has truly inspired me over the past several weeks to push myself into more. This podcast has served as a reminder to me to see the good and surround yourself with good. It is the best thing to listen to while walking and such a good resource for self-care. Thank you so much for making others feel known through your work. Absolutely. Abby Eliza. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Also, another announcement. I have a women's conference coming up, Become Your Vision Women's Conference, and I'm going to have it later this year. So this is June 2021, whenever you're listening. So I'm thinking September or October. I haven't nailed down a date yet. This is the first in-person event that I have done this year. So the last one was in February of 2020. And then I had a virtual event in September of last year. But oh my gosh, I think everybody's ready to get back to in person. And if you've never been to a women's conference before, or you haven't been to mine, oh my gosh, there's so much fun. I have music, I have giveaways, I have speakers, and it's a great time for women who want to better themselves to come together. Obviously, that means you're into self-growth, you're listening to this podcast. It's women like you. And this event is going to be all about letting go of fear and stepping into fierce, because our doubt and sabotage, that came out funny, can prevent us, from showing up as the person we want to be. And this event is all about your personal breakthroughs, gathering with like-minded women, and to dream big for your life and actually take action through the workshops that I provide. And it's going to be amazing. So stay tuned for the official date. You can do that by following me on social media and joining me on my email list. I send weekly emails, and I'll leave all the details in the show notes, and I will keep announcing this, and then when I have the official date, I will let you all know. So this episode today is to encourage you to go after that thing before you think you're ready. And you may be asking yourself, well, what thing are we talking about? Well, it's different for every person. It could be maybe a raise, asking for that raise when you're scared, or maybe it's going live on social media, or starting a business, or maybe wearing a bikini for the first time. And I know you have that one thing, that's something you've been thinking about doing, but you go back and forth in your head. And I know that happens to you because it happens to me. So I want to start, before we dive a little bit deeper into this episode, is to share one of my favorite quotes. And that is, she believed she could, so she did. She believed she could, so she did. It's hard for me to spit that out tonight. And I have this quote hanging in my office, and I have it on a mug. And the reason why I love this saying so much is because believing in yourself is more than half the battle, right? You could be really scared, but also believe in yourself at the very same time. So for some of you, I know it's easier said than done to just like believe in yourself. Maybe it's you've had years of trauma or, low self-esteem, or maybe you had somebody in your life that was verbally abusive, or still have that person in your life and they tear you down. That can really take a toll on your well-being. And if you can't think of one good thing about yourself, or it's very hard to come up with that thing, I highly suggest seeing a licensed therapist. And now they have them online. I saw a therapist for a period of time. There's no shame in it. And I think therapy should be at a level now that you're just saying that you're going to the gym or going to the doctor. Like, it shouldn't be a thing. There should be no stigma around going to see a therapist. People see therapists when their lives are good, or when they're working through challenges. It's nice to get your thoughts out and have somebody that's, not close to you to offer educated support. And now if you're thinking like, well, I don't really think I need a therapist. I just really need to tap into, starting to believe in myself. So I'm here to tell you that is possible. It really is. And you're just one decision away from telling yourself, you got this. Okay? You got this. And you have to have this belief in knowing that there are opportunities out there for you. There's confidence waiting for you. There is that life you want. And you can also be grateful for every single thing you have and still want to improve yourself. So there's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't have any guilt for wanting to be better, or do better, or have better. And, and still be grateful, but there are more opportunities and more possibilities waiting for you. And the next step after having that shift in your brain, like, okay, I got this, you have to have the knowing that there is no perfect time to go after that life you want. And, actually there is a perfect time, and that perfect time is now. Sometimes we wait for the stars to align, to reach our goal weight, or to have a certain number in our bank account, or to have more experience to reach for the next thing we want. And maybe if you've been listening to the show since the very beginning, you know that I started this podcast in my bedroom closet. I didn't know how to edit a podcast. I actually tried. I really, really tried the first several to try to do it. I got so frustrated. Then, I was going to pay for it. I think I paid for one person to edit my podcast on Fiverr. They have great resources on Fiverr. It's an app. You can hire them for basically anything. But, and then my husband's like, no, I'll do it for you. It's no big deal. Because I didn't want to put him out or whatever. And so we worked through that, but I started this podcast on my MacBook Pro mic, right? I didn't have my mic that I have now. I have a Blue Yeti, if some of you guys are wondering. I love it. But I started this just with my laptop in my bedroom closet on the floor, no chair, nothing. Now, in the past, it's almost coming up to a year, I upgraded a little bit. I have a pink office chair that I love, and we changed our guest room into my podcast room and reconfigured, things in our house so that I had this space. And it was funny because this woman in my class, Jackie, if you're listening, she told me the other day, she's like, I finally started to listen to your podcast. And I was like, oh, which one? And she was like, episode 1. And I'm like, ooh, like I like cringed, right, at my earlier episodes because I know how far I've come. And I like to think I've come a long way. I think I have. And I also know that I'm not where I want to be. And that's being able to turn on this mic and, not get nervous, because I still get nervous every single time. But the more I do it, the more I practice, the better I'll get. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So I hope that my story inspires you to, just start where you're at and know that nerves are okay. Nerves don't mean you can't. And nerves should be your proof that you are on to bigger and better things. And switching your thought around nerves, instead of it being like a scary thing, like it's an exciting thing. It's really exciting to be able to do this. And that will help our brain to not be anxiety ridden, but like, oh my gosh, I get to do this, So if you get anything out of this episode, I want you to know it's to start before you think you're ready. Apply for that job before you think you're qualified, because, guess what? You can learn the skills needed. And if employers believe in you and like you, they might overlook your lack of experience in an area because they know that that thing can be taught and you're willing to learn and you're very teachable. So go for that. Go for that position. What is the worst thing they can say? They can say no. Okay. All right, great. I tried. Now you know that you tried. Another way you could step out of your comfort zone is by wearing, maybe it's a dress or rocking a sports bra only instead of like a top to the gym. That's your top. I know many women are like, I just want to wear a sports bra to the gym. It shows that I'm confident. So if you're dying to wear that, do it, because guess what? Who cares if you're judged? Who cares? Does that thing, that dress, that sports bra, whatever it is, does it make you feel good? And if the answer is yes, then do it. And the more you wear it, the more comfortable it becomes. And the real truth after the end of the day is you will never feel completely ready, not 100% ready, never. And we all learn as we go. And I think that's why, you see these progression photos on social media, whether it's, a body transformation or a house transformation. You know how hard you worked personally, or whoever's social media you're following, you know how hard they worked to get from point A to point B. Whether it was you or them, there were challenges, there were plateaus, there were setbacks. But oh my gosh, you are way farther now and stronger because you just went for it, right? And that makes it so inspirational, is because you're like, oh, that took a lot of hard work. So you guys, start before you're ready. You can do it. You can do it. Don't forget to stay tuned for the announcement of the Become Your Vision conference. I'll be having again in September or October, and follow me on social media, or ask me to be a part of my email list. Just email me and I'll add you to that. And you guys, if you love this episode, pause the rest. There's really not much left, but please leave a review. Reviews matter. They really do. They show other listeners who might have not tuned in, that the show is worth listening to. So remember, you guys, I love you. Thanks for tuning in. It's been so much fun on this journey, 50 episodes, and can't wait to see, where we're at on the 100th episode. Remember, you got this, and I'm always here to support you. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you love this episode, make sure you are subscribed so you know when more episodes come available. My goal is to inspire others to become their vision, and one way to get the word out is with reviews. I would really appreciate it if you left an honest review on iTunes, and it would mean so much to me. Thanks again, and remember to go after the life you want. Bye, guys.